What's up, everybody? My name is Dane. I am a hip hop artist, film maker, producer, and now I am here in Rwanda. Yes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Tana Session. I have been in the human resources space for over 30 years and running my own consulting company and just graduated law school, yay. And yeah, now we live in Kigali, Rwanda. So we are originally from New York, from Brooklyn, New York. Spent the last 12 years in Los Angeles, relocated to Kigali, Rwanda in February of 2025. So celebrate our first year here. And we were inspired to move here after visiting to go see the gorillas. So back in 2022, we came for the very first time. Wanted to see the gorillas. I saw it promoted on Instagram. My husband thought I was crazy.
Didn't know what to expect because the only thing we knew,
gorillas in the wild.
the only thing we knew about Rwanda was the movies, Gorilla in the Mist, Hotel Rwanda, and of course, what led up to that was the genocide of 1994 against the Tutsi, that's what we knew. So we hadn't. We had no idea what we were coming to. But that's how we were traveling through Africa in the first place with no expectations at all. So,
yeah. It was one of a few countries that we visited that year. And we landed when it was dark, so we didn't get to really see a lot on our drive up to Volcano Mountain, I think it was. And got to see the gorillas, which was a phenomenal once-in-a-lifetime experience. And on our way back, we did a tour of the city of Kigali, and we were just so impressed with the infrastructure, the greenery, the advancement of technology in terms of the robots that catches you and gives you tickets.
The AI robot, Alice. That's what they told me the name was.
So we just thought, as we got on the plane to leave, we turned to each other and said we could see ourselves living here one day.
That's after 2 days too.
We were only here for 2 days.
Not even a whole 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. Yeah.
So that alone, said something about the country, because we knew we wanted to move to Africa, but we originally thought it would be Accra, Ghana, Nairobi, maybe South Africa. Rwanda was never a thought, really, until after we came.
Maybe Zanzibar, because you love the beach.
Oh, well, Zanzibar, yeah. Need to be near a beach. So we, when we decided that we were leaving America, we said we would come here, try it out for 3 months, and if we didn't like it, we would go to the next country, and we stayed. And we've visited other countries since we've been here, and we keep saying we made the right choice.
Yeah. I guess, America's been changing a lot. The political atmosphere in America has changed a lot, and it was too, what's the word I'm looking for?
Divisive?
Yes, that's exactly the word I was looking for, divisive. And, we wanted to change. We wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle, and being here was very calming, and being in Africa for that matter, and just seeing all the people that look like us. And then we did our ancestry test as well, and she found out that you are from
Cameroon,
and I'm from Gabon. So haven't been there yet, so we have to go visit those places. But we just after being able to travel throughout Europe and a lot of places, and being in America, and then coming here, as my wife said, we felt celebrated and not tolerated. And that was a big thing, to be celebrated and not tolerated, and being through Europe, and even being from America. We love America. Don't get me wrong. I love America. I love the United States. That's our original home. But it always gives us, and even now more than ever, a sense of just being tolerated. And who wants to be living in an atmosphere where you always feel like you're tolerated? So.
Yeah. And for me, it was a dream deferred. It was something I wanted to do in terms of coming to Africa since I was 21 years old. And I had a boss that, came and did a tour. And I remember planning his agenda and all the things, the countries he was going to go visit. And so I replicated in a lot of ways his agenda 30 plus years later when we came for the very first time in 2021 and we visited 5 countries. And then we came back immediately the next year and visited 6 countries. And then we came back the next year and got to see the Great Migration in the Serengeti. And every time we came back, I kept telling friends and family, like, I don't feel like this is home anymore. Like, I need to be there. My soul is calling me to go to Africa. And I just felt this is where I was supposed to be from the very first trip. And it took a little convincing to get him on the same
Yeah, because
page.
my soul was still saying Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Stay in Brooklyn. You from Brooklyn, baby. Be Brooklyn.
And mine's the same. Bye, Brooklyn. I'll see you later. And just like Dana said, be somewhere where you get to see people look like you in all different positions of life. You get to be welcome in such a sincere and warm way. And feeling that this can be your home. No one's made us feel like we were strangers or foreigners. Even when we make mistakes, they're forgiven. And we're doing our part to learn more about the culture, the language, just the social culture as well, right? There's a social aspect to this. So it's been a learning experience, which is great at this time in our lives where we can take the time to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big misconception as American blacks that blacks are not welcome in Africa. And I guess it would be because meeting other Africans in United States, it's not as cool as it is being here. Maybe because when they get there, they get a misconception about Black Americans. I'm not really sure what happens, but it gets lost in translation. But being here, I just want to let if Americans see this, that you're welcome in Africa. As a Black American.
Right. Why Rwanda? For me, it was a sense of calm. It was a sense of home. It felt comfortable. The first things we noticed was that they drive on the same side of the car, same side of the road as we do in the States. So we were like, okay, at least we can drive here a lot faster and our brains won't be confused. And then, we had a connection with, so many Black Americans that lived here that we didn't even know about. Like I happened to come across someone on YouTube. I reached out to them. They told me their reasons for coming. We got connected to someone who has been living here, running a business for years. And through her, we met so many other Americans, and we were able to find out like there's a whole community of us here. We're not alone. So we have these people that we could tap into to help with our transition, which has been, priceless in terms of us figuring things out, understanding, again, the culture, the mannerisms, and then just finding our own rhythm as well, as husband and wife moving to a country out of the States for the very first time. This is new to both of us. And, having that person that you can turn to when you're confused or scared or nervous. Luckily, he's taken on driving. I still haven't. So he drives me everywhere, which is great.
It's like New York driving, though. Get out the way. No. Now, they don't drive like that. Well, they do drive like that,
sorta.
but they don't have the road rage that comes with the New York driving.
So yeah, that's why Rhonda for me, and talking to friends and family, they were confused about our choice as well. But again, it's because of the misconceptions of the country and the people and just being in Africa, period.
Yeah, and my wife is big on plans, so she saw that there was a plan in place for the country. There's a 2025 plan, which we moved here. At the end of that plan, which they had reached those goals, and now they're moving into the 2050 plan, and which is a great and amazing plan that they have put in place, and I'm sure they're going to meet that plan as well. And we're going to be here to see it grow and become this amazing. Well, it's already an amazing place, but they're bringing so much activities and business to this culture of what they have created. And it's just exciting to see and be a part of, and then we get an opportunity to add on to that as well, because I'm doing films, and I see that the film market here isn't as robust as maybe South Africa or Nigeria or even Kenya for that matter. And so we have an opportunity to, uh, put a little weight on the scales and, change the balance of that and move it forward. And I look forward to bringing, my entertainment and business acumen to what they have here, and I've already done that. I've partnered with a lot of Rwandan filmmakers and entertainers, and they're learning from me. I'm learning from them, and we're creating something that's incredible. I feel like it's one of my best decisions in my life, other than my wife, of course. Yes, because it gives me a chance to recalibrate. I would say, and refocus on what my focus is. And I'm doing the same thing I was doing in America. I was making films, but I wasn't working in on big Hollywood films. I was working with independent films, people who were just starting or needed an opportunity to get into films, and they wanted to do it, didn't know how to do it, because that's how I started. And I do everything with Hip Hop Foundation. So hip hop is one of those. Is a culture that's built on not waiting. We don't wait for somebody to say you can do something. We get out there and learn how to do it ourselves and just go, And so being here, I'm bringing that same mentality. Uh, Come up with an idea, we don't wait, we just go. We figure out the pieces, the resources, and I'm instilling that into the young, inspiring filmmakers and entertainers here. It's not about having money. It's about having resources. It's about using what you have now, finding other people who have like minds, who want to get to that same level and say, hey, you know what? I'm doing this and you're doing that. And I think they meet here. Why don't you come over and help me, and I'll come over and help you, and then we build something together. And that's not something that a lot of Rwandans to me are used to, but I'm changing that mindset to say you might not make the money now, but you'll make the money later, because you're going to put in the work to not only make the money but become your own business and do your own thing. Because case in example, I'm doing a documentary on the two-wheel culture. Okay, and the two-wheel culture out here is incredible. This is an incredible culture, because the motos and the bicycles, they move the economy. Small businesses use the bikes to get their products, their groceries, and the motos do the same thing. But on another level, they take people to and from work and wherever they have to go, because it's affordable for the most part. So with that, I'm saying to them, let's get together and I lost my train of thought a little bit, but let's get together and build something bigger. And with that, I gave them the opportunity not only to work with me on the project, but own a piece of the project and control the project. Like director Dana, I'm working with a young filmmaker that I met at Sunday Jams. This party, when I first came here, was just a party that my man Marlon and Big Tony put together, and it was a networking party. And I met all these young creatives there, and I told each one of them that aligned with what I'm doing, that I'm going to work with them. And I've worked with a lot of them so far. So, but with that, he is the director of the movie. He's also the producer of the movie, and it's his movie. I said, look, I'm just gonna help guide you, but it's your movie. So it could have been me. I didn't want to come and make it about the stories that I just wanted to tell and then control everybody and say, you do this and you this. I said, no, you have this, bring it to life. I will guide you and help you through the pitfalls, so you can say, I learned this, I know this, I can do it now without Dana, and I can bring all other Rwandans in and teach them and move it forward. So that's my game plan, to pay it forward here and create something amazing.
Young, talented people is what stands out to me about this country, especially with my background in HR, talent development, leadership development. I see so much potential in the youth here, and there's so many young people that have very impressive resumes already. Like we've met so
Yes.
many very young civil engineers that are building apartment buildings and hotels and homes, and I'm like, you're younger than our kids.
Yeah, they're not even 30 years old. I'm like, wow, 30 years old. What was I doing? Well, I was a hip hopper, but I wasn't thinking about.
But it's just impressive in terms of the talent and the hunger and the desire to learn and to do better. To think and dream big. We've talked to, as my husband says, so many youth here. I've talked to people in professional settings as well, and there's definitely a desire to develop the talent. And even when I looked at Vision 2025 and now Vision 2050, those are things that lead in terms of how we're going to move the country forward is through the talent and the youth that we have and bringing those who leave to get educated back to the country to help be a part of that plan. And so when I think about my background and what I bring to the table and what I can contribute to the country is exactly that because of the experience that I have with doing that in the United States for over 30 years, coaching executives, working with young talent, helping people become and learn how to, become leaders themselves.
Everything. That's just the thing. When we came to Africa, the things that challenged us, we knew was going to be mostly everything because at the same time, we didn't overthink it. We came to Africa, we looked at each other and said, if we're going to travel here, and we agreed, we're going to travel with no expectations, we don't know what to expect, just no expectations. Just go. If something goes wrong, hey, we wasn't expecting. Something goes right, hey, we wasn't expecting it. So the biggest challenge, we probably thought it was going to be communication. It's been challenging, but it's not been bad. It's a way with technology these days to communicate. So I guess that made it a little bit easier, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge moving here definitely was the communication. It was the language. It's a difficult language. One of the first things Dana said was, I want to at least learn pleasantries like hello, good morning, thank you, yes, no.
Maraho, Marukose. That's the first thing I learned because you got to be polite. You got to be kind to people. And the first word I did learn was Murokose. Thank you. You got to learn thank you first to people, man. And hello and how you doing.
Yeah, so just learning those words and being able to say them on a regular basis helps kind of lower, I think, defenses in some ways and also opens up the communication where people see that you're trying and they'll try to meet you there. And like Dana said, being able to use technology. So when we are extremely challenged, we'll use, thankfully, Google Translator has Kinyarwanda, so we can translate and show our phone and say what we're trying to say. And again, people are usually open and pleasant and helpful. And then just learning how to navigate relationships, right? Yeah. So, people here, at first impression, besides the Rwandan stare that we had to get used to.
The Rwandan stare.
That was uncomfortable. And we learned very quickly, just stare back.
And then say hello.
And
as soon as you say hello, the smiles come out. It's a lovely thing.
Yeah. So, once we've learned some of those nuances and just cultural differences, and it's helped us navigate. And it's been, again, a learning journey. I tell my son, I say, I'm here as a student. I'm learning everything from the ground up.
A moment in Rwanda where we felt this is different, but in a good way. I don't know if there's a particular moment like that. I think all the moments are like that. For the most part. I guess. Oh, this is perfect. Driving. Okay. This is different. Driving here is like driving in New York City without traffic lights. People cut you off. They do this. But guess what? No one gets angry. Yeah. There's no fights about this. It's, and that's different in a good way. You know what I mean? You're driving, and to me, I wasn't ready for it, and I drive a lot, and I had to remember, you're not in New York City no more. I want to say, hey, what are you doing? But I'm like, hey, that's the way they drive, so hey. So I think that's been different, in a good way, because people just going about their business. You know what I mean? I guess. Right?
Yeah, and I think just looking at the overall development of the country, even in the time that we've been here, we've seen places that weren't roads are now roads and paved, and you can
Yeah.
go different ways now, and that's different in a good way compared to other countries. We can see the investment into the country, from the top down, basically. So
Ooh, starting our business. That's different in a good way because yeah, you go and try to start a business in America that could take you weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Here in Rwanda, it's like a day, 2 days. Your business is up and running, and you can go and start making it happen. Yeah, so
that was amazing.
yeah, that's amazing. Just that, yeah, the whole infrastructure of and even going to the hospital, it's been a good experience. I thought the wait times is going to be a long time because there's a whole bunch of people there, but not a lot of people. You know what I mean? I mean, not a lot of wait time. Not a lot of. I mean, it's a lot of people, but not a lot of wait time. Yeah.
Well, I'm a morning person, so my day in Kigali starts at 6:30 in the morning because I have a puppy, and he likes to go out at a certain time, and so I have a whole routine in the morning with him, and then I have breakfast, I sit outside, I drink my coffee. I catch up on emails and communications from the U.S. that came in while I was asleep. So by the time they wake up, they have responses to me, whether it's, in New York where there's 6 hour difference, or Los Angeles where there's a 9 hour difference. So there's a lot of catching up with work from that perspective because I'm still running my business from here, and most of my clients are in the States still. And then we spend some time together in the morning, or, I'll work out.
When I get up about 2 hours later.
Yeah. I'll work out, and we'll spend time together, and then we hang out different places. It just depends on what our friends are doing, what kind of information or flyers come through, or WhatsApp group that we're in. I'm like, hey, there's a reggae party, let's go tonight, or there's a brunch, let's go check that out. And so we're trying to get out and socialize, outside of our little small community of people, but get out and learn more about Kigali and experience, different events and different locations, like being here in this beautiful hotel, for instance. So all of these things are still new to us. And so we're trying to, just take in as much as we can. So when people come visit us, we know where to take them and where to tell them to go to enjoy the city.
My day-to-day is still the same. That's why, it was easy for us to transition here because we work from home, basically. So I'm spending most of my time on the computer, being creative, editing, writing, getting ready for film date shoots, and just reaching out to potential people to interview, sponsor, whatever I have going on. Yeah, I'll go sit on the patio. I'll go take a walk up these beautiful hills because that's a great workout. These hills, the thousand hills is beautiful, and the view. They said 1,000 hills, 1,000 smiles, but it's 1,000 views too. I love the 1,000 views out here. So yeah, we go hang out with people, and I hang out with a lot of I kick it with a lot of young Rwandan creatives as well. I meet for coffee and kick it with them and see how I can be of service and of help for whatever projects they have going on. So, and then in return, how they can assist me with whatever project I'm working on. So, yeah, our day-to-day operations really similar, I guess, here, except for the weather is, for the most part, always beautiful.
Yeah.
Except for the rain days, and even that doesn't even bother me because it's not cold. I don't use umbrellas. Yeah, I don't use umbrellas, so I'll walk in the rain. So it's cool, Since being here, we've been to several events. They have a lot of great events going on here, and you got here 2 weeks before me, and I'm a little jealous because I've never seen him in concert since early days, but now you can jump in.
Okay. So before moving here, I was looking to see what type of events were going on and what I could do because I actually landed here on my birthday, and I knew I wanted to do something special. And it just so happened that I saw that they had the John Legend concert, and I was like, okay, I'm going to buy a ticket. And everyone was like, you gonna go by yourself? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to the concert. And so I had a driver that picked me up and took me to the concert at the BK Arena, and it was sold out. It was jam packed. It was great. It was a phenomenal concert. I've never seen him perform before. And, met different people around me that were from other, like, there was a woman there from Kenya, and she and I chatted a little bit. And there were other people local. Once they heard me talk, they were like, where are you from? And I told them. And so we started talking. So I, within my little seated section, I got to talk to other people that night. So I didn't feel alone. And, since then, like Dana said, we've tried to plug into other concerts. We got to see Doja Cat, so we went to that concert.
So, what aspects of Rwandan culture that I've connected with the most is driving. Because, yeah, she doesn't like my driving. So, she's like, you just ride it home, right? So, yeah. Driving, just entertainment in general and filmmaking, the entertainment part of Rwanda, that's where I've connected the most, and just you know just the fellowship of the entertainers who want to learn more and be more in filmmaking and entertainment. That's been my sweet spot here. We want to go to a wedding. We haven't. We heard that the Rwandan weddings are phenomenal. So hopefully we'll get to go to a wedding soon.
We have
right?
an invite for the summer. Yep, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. I will wear a traditional outfit. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I think the things that I've connected to with Rwandan culture is the fact that women are leaders here. Holding over 60% of the positions in government, holding key positions in top organizations, owning businesses. I've met so many Rwandan women that are business owners here, and just having them as that's not necessarily what we see in the States, right? Especially Black women. So that to me has just been eye-opening. It's been inspiring. It shows that it can happen, and I'm continuing to tap into that. Even for myself as a Black woman living here now, running a business, same thing. Being an example for these younger Rwandan women coming up. Being someone that they can learn from, and hopefully become leaders themselves. So that's the part of the culture that really was attracted to me from the very beginning when I looked at the other countries, was the amount of women that are in government leadership positions and running big industry here was very unique to this country. And for someone as a business owner, a Black woman, that to me in terms of the culture was, and the fact that it's still a focus, right? When I read articles in the paper, I see it's still a focus in investing in women businesses, investing in young girls, getting them to leadership positions. So, that to me is really what is attractive to me.
Have we faced any challenges
Where do we start?
that we're struggling to adjust with? Yeah.
I definitely have some cultural challenges I'm struggling to adjust with here. The language, first and foremost, it's a difficult language because of the formulation of the letters. We're not used to having like M and W together. So I'm still struggling to say good morning properly, although they know what I'm saying. I know I'm not saying it right.
Yeah.
And they just smile and say it back. So I kind of stick with
They more like
Muraho.
giggle, like.
Probably. I say Muraho because that's easier, and I'm like, okay, I think I got that right. And then I guess.
Well, a lot of words don't translate to
Yeah.
English
Yeah.
the same way, so we have to figure that out. So.
Yeah, and that's our job to do. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We have to figure it out. We're not
Yeah.
expecting everyone to speak English. Like that would be pointless for us to move to Africa and say, oh, you need to speak English. Like, no, we need to learn the language, at least enough to communicate, pleasantries and buy and shop and, negotiate prices, those types of things. So I think the language for me has been the biggest challenge, but, again, we lean on the technology when it's a bigger challenge.
It feels a different type of safe here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's crime everywhere. I get
Yeah.
that, but
Like people
here,
taking dogs.
yeah, but it's crime everywhere. But I think it's minimal here. In regards to like we see all when we first got here, we see these little kids
Oh yes.
this tall
Like
walking
5
by
years old,
themselves
3
or
years
together,
old.
and we like that couldn't happen in America.
No.
You got to watch your kids. And like, is it like is anybody watching? Said no, don't worry. They know who kids those are. No one's gonna bother those kids. And
They know where they're supposed to go.
yeah,
And
what
they're
they
supposed to
do,
get there.
yeah, and the kids are very nice and they're just having fun. And I love that about being here that you don't have to watch your back and over your shoulder everywhere you go.
And I feel, I'm pretty certain it's because we don't have those same stressors of anxiety and everything else that comes along with, you know, being black in America and the things that we have to deal with and how you always have to be on guard in some way, shape, or form. There.
Yeah, when I have interaction with the cops,
Yes.
a cop is behind me or in front of me
Or pulls you over.
or pulls me over, I'm not tense anymore. Like, oh, this could be it. This could be it. But now it's like, hey, how you doing? Like, okay, let me see your driving license. Okay, please don't do this or do this. But it's no tension. Yeah. So that's you have to live in America to understand this though, because it's a whole different world. It's really a whole different world.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Great way.
In a great way here. I'm not talking about in America. I'm talking about here. What I've learned here is that most of the filmmakers here haven't done a full feature series or anything that's beyond a short story for the most part. They need more funding for their projects, more of a coordinated opportunity for them to be in a space where they can highlight their talents, showcase their talents, and make money from what they're doing. So they need that type of support where uh, it can expand. And I think that's where the bridge is at. A lot of the projects are in Kenya, Rwanda, and so I think it kind of limits their expansion and their reach. So I myself are thinking of ways to keep it authentic to Rwanda, but also expand it so that there's a global appetite for what the young creatives are creating here. So I haven't heard a lot of Rwandan music. Like I listen to the radio, and the radio is playing everybody else's music except for the Rwandan music. So, but the Rwandan music I have heard is very entertaining, and the Rwandan artists I have heard and seen are very entertaining. And I actually want to do some songs with Rwandan artists, and singers, you know what I mean? But I just haven't found the right balance or the time as of yet because the film part of what I've been doing has been taking up most of my time, So I've only been here for a year, so for the first 6 months, I was just learning, meeting people. Um, Over the last 5 months, I started working on the project I told you, where there's two wheels, there's a way. We're about 60% done with that, but soon I'll be launching a game show, and I'm always trying to figure out how to fill the gaps here, and that's something that I have not seen here was a game show, and I said, okay, not only are we going to do a game show, we're going to do a game show on the streets of Rwanda. Okay, so I'm bringing a game show called Break the Bank Live. It's a game show, a content engine, and the integration platform for brand businesses throughout Rwanda. So, like, I want to partner with MTMs and smaller businesses like Nature Kigali and Ruma Rwanda and Spiro and Airtel and bring their products to the street as well as give an opportunity because it's all about growing Rwanda and giving people opportunity in Rwanda. And basically my game show is free money. You come and play a game and you win money, and who doesn't want to win money? You know what I mean? And you don't have to put up any money. You just come play the game, win some money. So the game is basic. You got we pick 5 random people off the street, okay? They dig their hand in the bag. Whoever comes up with the green chip gets to play the game. Next, they get to pick a cash box. It's the bank. It's 3 of them. So they pick the cash box. Then it's 2 rounds. They win money in the first round. They win more money in the second round. In the third round is that cash box. Do you want to keep the money that you won, or do you want to try to win more money out of the cash box? Now, within the game, you probably have won about 15K, all right? But in the cash box, it's going to be 75K to 100K. So do you want to keep the 15K, or do you want to risk it all for the 75 to 100K? And that's Break the Bank Live. And we're going to be everywhere bringing this game. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be an incredible game. No, every cash box doesn't have the money. You're taking a risk, because 2 cash boxes is like, oh no, and 1 cash box is, yeah.
Yeah, so for the last year, I was focused really on just finishing law school, and that was challenging, and finished that in December. And now I want to pivot and not only use my law degree, but also the background that I have in human resources and organizational development, leadership development, executive development, and coaching. I want to combine all of those things, again, to help the youth here, because the youth is the future. There's so many young people. Everywhere I look, I see young people, whether it's the little ones on the street that are going to soon, enter the workforce, or the students I see walking to school that are in, intermediary or high school. So really helping them understand, what talent of the future looks like, how to use the law in their favor. Definitely looking to do some pro bono work in human and civil rights law here, whatever that looks like, and with a particular focus on gender equity. So how to help women use the law to their advantage. And then ultimately, continue with my consulting. So being able to take a lot of the work that I've been doing over the years in my HR and organizational consulting, not just here in Rwanda, but throughout the continent. Because when I think about, kind of the work I've done over 30 years, and I look at where development is available here and advancement here, there is that gap. And so I can help fill that gap by bringing the experience that I have and the expertise that I have, as well as my education, to the market here. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing in terms of, what I've been doing for the last years is, again, being a student, not only in law school, but also in Kigali, right? Learning, what are the gaps, and talking to business owners, and going to different conferences and professional organizations to understand, what are some of the challenges that executives and CEOs are saying that they're experiencing with recruiting and keeping and retaining that talent, and also developing it.
Yeah, we just recently, the cost of living here compared to America is dramatic change, because we just went back to America a few months ago. And when I was there, I spent a lot of money. And I was telling a friend of mine, I said, man, I spend $500 in 2 months here in Rwanda, where I spend $500 in 2 days in America, And so that balance, Imbalance, that's right. Imbalance is crazy. And, the dollar goes a little, much farther here, especially since, we're not like big extravagant spenders in the first place. So our money lasts a little bit longer, and it stretches much further here. Whereas in America, it seems like everything is $20, $20. You want ice cream? $20. You want to make a phone call? $20. You want to take a taxi? $20. It just seems like everything is just way more, well, it is way more expensive, the cost of living compared to here. So we enjoy that part of it, you know, and and the freshness of the food though too as well, you know. I used to perform though, you know, all across the United States. So since being here, performing has not been a big revenue finder for me because my music is not as known here in most of Africa. Even though they know who I am, they don't know my songs as well. So on the reverse side, I don't make as much money as I did because I was performing. So I'm basically starting from the ground up again. Aside for the movies that I already have out on platforms, on Tubi, on Prime Video, on YouTube. So y'all can go see all those movies that I have out there and help me pay my bills. You know, go watch my movies. So help me pay my bills. All my songs are favorite ones to perform. But my first album, Dane with Fame, Cinderella Nightmares, This Be the Death Beat, Love at First Sight, all those songs, Delancey Street, all those songs have a special place in my heart. And if you haven't heard it, you know, Google Dane and check out my songs, all right?